It's day 15. It's looking like, in fact it is, a straight race between the two grand champions. They will meet the last day. The tension builds up. The other wrestlers now are just striving to get their kachikoshi, either go up the rankings. It's a full house, man in onrei, that's what those banners say. And there we see the new Prime Minister of Japan, Junichi Koizumi, a man who is outside the mainstream of Japanese politics, who's come in to watch the final day, a very popular Prime Minister by the look of it. And the first of our bouts, we're in fact looking at all the bouts in the Makuuchi division. On this last day, we start with the bottom of the Makuuchi division, the Maegashira, bottom of the Maegashira rankings, between Wakatsutomu, who's got 7 wins and 7 losses. If he gets an 8th loss here, he'll almost certainly go back down to the Juryo division, and he's fighting Minatofuji with 9 wins. So Minatofuji in the purplish Moashi there is safe enough, but Wakatsutomu needs some desperate work here if he's going to stay in this Makuuchi division. Well, he's trying hard, but Minatofuji looks like he's hanging on. There's a grip, almost sent him out. I think slightly complacent there, Minatofuji. I think he thought he'd got him, but Wakatsutomu managed to come back in again. Wakatsutomu, 161 kilos, 28 years old, ex-amateur champion. Well, this is certainly a long bout. It's a tiring one for Wakatsutomu. He's determined to get that kachikoshi, and there you see the exhaustion. Well, look at that. That was a hard bout for Wakatsutomu. He never stopped going forward and fighting all the way. Minatofuji just hanging on, almost picked him off a couple of times, but eventually Wakatsutomu ran out of steam. About to between Higonoumi, who unusually has got 10 wins so far, almost unheard of for him to do so well. He might even win a prize. And they're bundling Daizen out. So that's 11 wins for Higonoumi, 8 wins and 7 losses for Daizen. So Daizen, he's okay at Maegashira 14. He'll stay in the Makuuchi division, and Higonoumi will shoot up much higher, around the Maegashira 5-6 mark in the next basho. Otsukasa with 8 wins. He's already got kachikoshi against Tochinohana, who's also got 8 wins and kachikoshi. So both of these relax. The wrestlers say that once they've got that kachikoshi, the pressure comes off. They know they're not going to be in the race for the cup, so for them, it's the rankings are all important. So Tochinohana wins that one with oshidashi, push out, gives him 9 wins and 6 losses. Now we have Jumonji against Takatoriki. Takatoriki not doing at all well. Last basho only had 5 wins. The one before that had 8 wins. The one before that 4 wins. He's right down at the bottom of the Maegashira rankings. He's only got 5 wins. That's Makikoshi. He's almost certainly going to go down to Juryo. Well, he said in the past that for him Juryo would be unthinkable, and if he dropped that far he'd quit. But he's recently changed his mind. He said, well, he's going to carry on fighting. So we'll see. There's 2 months gap between each basho, so plenty of time for him to change his mind. So Takatoriki taking his 10th loss, and Jumonji his 7th win. Now Kyokushuzan's doing well, Mongolian. Previous basho only had 1 win, forced out because of an injury. And but now he's got 10 wins this basho. He's at Maegashira 15. He's never won more than 9 wins in a basho. We've seen him in the past can do some very unorthodox sumo, although in recent bashos he's pretty much classical style. But obviously those Mongolian techniques are still there. Tries a move there. Takanonami struggling a bit. Takanonami with 8 wins. He's got kachikoshi. He's comfortable enough. So there's an overarm grip from Kyokushuzan and a leg hook round behind. So a win there for Kyokushuzan, 11 wins. And that's the first time he's ever got more than 10 wins. Takanonami with 8 wins and 7 losses. Now Tochisakae comes up against Kyokutenho. Tochisakae, 26 years old, Kyokutenho, 26 as well. Well, that was very neatly read by Tochisakae. Kyokutenho launches out like a rocket. A little twist and a flip, and Tochisakae sends him down with a pull and a drop. Well, this is possibly a sad story. Terao, after a longish spell in the Juryo, comes back. The previous basho, he got 8 wins and 7 losses. That pushed him up to Maegashira 9. But this tournament, he's been doing extremely badly. He's had 12 losses. But in fact, he lost his mother very recently, and I think this has psychologically had a big effect on him. He's only had 2 wins this tournament. He'll drop down to the Juryo division again, almost certainly. 38 years old, maybe he can fight his way back up into this Makuuchi division, but certainly the crowd love him, almost guaranteed to fill any sumo stadium. But there loses, that's his 13th loss and Tamakasuga's 6th win. Well, Tetsujin, they call him, it means Iron Man in Japanese. Certainly amazing at 38 years old. And also a very lightweight wrestler, 114. I mean, officially he's 114 kilos, although there was some talk about him actually being around the 120 kilo mark. But that's not very heavy in sumo terms. Now, Asanowaka, what a change, this man, Asanowaka. Once upon a time, he had gaudy mannerisms in the ring. He had a sort of bright orange or different coloured mawashi. And then the Sumo Association told him to tone it down, and that's exactly what he's done. He's Mr. Serious now. So he's losing there. That was his 8th loss, and Makikoshi. And that was the 7th win for Tosanoumi, who's also got Makikoshi. Tamanoshima, formerly known as Tamanonada, from the Kataonami stable, fights Kaiho from the Hakaku stable. That stable, Hakaku, is run by Hokuto-Omi, who was a yokozuna around the time that Chiyotenzan was yokozuna. Well, that was a rough win there by Tamanoshima. They're both ex-amateur champions, and a good solid thrust there from Tamanoshima sent Kaiho spinning out over the edge of the ring. Now Hamanishiki has got 11 losses. He's at Maegashira 12, so he'll go down to the division below, the Juryo division. Here fighting Chiyotenzan on the right in the bluish, silvery blue mawashi. Chiyotenzan driving forward, tries a Katsukashi move there, but then skids away. It's always a factor in sumo. He's not necessarily the best wrestler who wins. The slippery surface can lose the footing of any of these wrestlers. So Hamanishiki there takes his 4th win against 11 losses, but still he'll be going down to Juryo. And Chiyotenzan at Maegashira 2 will drop several places in the next basho. Tokitsuumi against Takanowaka. Typical Takanowaka start, fast and furious. He's had 10 losses so far. Needs a win here, although it won't change anything. He's still going to drop down the rankings a bit, but at Maegashira 1, he's safe enough. And there's a win for Takanowaka. Let's see a slightly rear view shot there of what it's like to be in the audience close to the ring and have these guys crush in your lap. That was the 11th loss for Tokitsuumi. Now, Wakanosato, powerhouse. See those trapezius muscles on his shoulders, extremely powerful man. Fights Hamanishiki. They've only fought once before. Wakanosato won that one. Wakanosato locking in with the body. Hamanishiki trying to rock side to side. Tries the underarm throw, but loses it. And Wakanosato assists him over the edge with a single push from the technique known as Uwate Dashinagi. That's the overarm grip. And a push from that grip from behind. So that was 8th win for Wakanosato and Kachikoshi. 8th loss for Hamanishiki and Makikoshi. Now Akinoshima, he's not doing too well. He's had 6 losses so far. He's got 8 wins, but previous basho results have been pretty poor. He looks like he's on the downward slope, along with Takanonami. Asashoryu there, determined. And look at the suppleness of that Asashoryu. His legs skidded sideways, and he did a sideways split. Didn't seem to bother him at all. So that was 8th win for Asashoryu, and certainly he'll get Outstanding Performer prize, I should think, on this performance so far, otherwise known as the Shukun Show. And that was 7th loss for Akinoshima. So both wrestlers there notching up 8-7, 8 wins and 7 losses, and Kachikoshi apiece. Now Kotomitsuki, back on form, has got 9 wins, fighting Toki with 10 wins. Toki with a bright orange mawashi and the sideburns, very distinctive wrestler. Kotomitsuki comes out hard and fast. Toki there tries some slaps, seems determined to hand it back, and then he dumps Kotomitsuki down, and Kotomitsuki there banged himself, and he looks like he's concussed. He hit the deck there, and I think that banged his head down. And Toki takes the prize money, so certainly Kotomitsuki not looking too happy with that crash down. As I've said many times before, that's a solid surface they land on. It's hard-packed clay with a sprinkling of sand and salt on top. Not a surface you choose to fall on naked, or almost naked. Now Hayate Yumi against Tochiazumi. So Hayate Yumi making all the running there, and Tochiazuma slightly asleep by the look of it. Hayate Yumi drives him over. That's 9th win for Hayate Yumi and 6th loss for Tochiazuma. Both wrestlers coming out of this basho with 9-6 apiece. Tochiazuma has beaten all 3 so far, all 3 of the Masashigawa stable Ozeki. That's one of them. Hasn't beaten that man though. Now Kotonowaka against Miyabiyama. These two have fought 4 times previously. Miyabiyama has won 3 of them. Kotonowaka with 8 wins. And Kotonowaka certainly read that one well. Miyabiyama charged out. I don't think he was looking. Kotonowaka just rose up slightly, used his height, and just let Miyabiyama sail underneath him with a bit of assistance. So 9 wins for Kotonowaka, and also 9 wins for Miyabiyama, both going out with the same 9-6. Now Dejima has got 4 wins and 10 losses. He needs to win this one to maintain the dignity of his rank. Ozeki, it's a pretty awful result for the Ozeki. Locks in tight, and there's a win for him. Well, that's his final result is 5 wins and 10 losses. Pretty awful. In fact, very bad. So his next basho, he's got to get Kachikoshi if he wants to survive. And Tochinonada there with 4 wins and 11 losses. So pretty poor performance for the Sekiwaki Tochinonada. Now Chiyotenzan, the man who was in the running for the Emperor's Cup, here fighting Musoyama. They've had 13 head-to-heads. Musoyama's won 10 of them. Musoyama on the right there. Chiyotenzan, though, certainly looking on form after sitting out the last basho. So 1 basho out means something like 4 months out of the ring, as it were, although of course he trains in the meantime. But well, that was a determined effort there by Chiyotenzan, absolutely blasted out against his fellow Ozeki. And there's some prize money, quite a large bundle of it by the look of it. Over the year, this prize money adds up. Somebody like Takanohana can win 100 or a couple of hundred of those little bundles. £350 a time in a bundle. Now, this is the decider. Takanohana with 13-1, Musashimaru with 12-2. If Musashimaru wins this one, it'll be a playoff. If Takanohana wins it, it means he's won the tournament. Yes, his knee is taped up there. The right knee is taped up. We know now that he dislocated that knee very slightly in his bout yesterday. So there we see Takanohana trying to jump the gun a bit. These two have fought each other 46 times, of which Takanohana's won 29 of them, but Musashimaru's won the last 3. So will Musashimaru beat the grand champion with the injured knee? Very cautious start. Certain amount of psychological warfare going on here. So Musashimaru, well, I don't think he's too good at this psychological warfare game. But Takanohana can't play the Yokozuna card because they're both Yokozuna. They're both meant to be equal status. And what a beautifully read match that was. Takanohana just came out, and Musashimaru with the gentlest of touches just moved slightly aside and just assisted Takanohana to the ground with a tap. So that levels it up now. That's 13 wins and 2 apiece. and it'll all go down to a playoff. Let's watch this one. So eventually from the techa they come out, meet, and then Musashi Maru just goes sideways and down goes the grand champion. So now it's Kettei-sen. That means the deciding match, the playoff between the two grand champions, the two men who who affirm the dignity of the Yokozuna rank, the two men who prove beyond any doubt they're the best there is around. And here they come out for the second time. These two, as I said before, have fought 46 times, of which Takanohana's won 29, excluding that last bout, which we saw Musashi Maru win. A much better start there. Now, will Takanohana drive Musashi Maru out? Will he come back after that shock defeat? Can his knee hold up to the massive weight of Musashi Maru? And now we see an overarm grip, and that's it. Takanohana wins. From that grip, that overarm grip, he spun Musashi Maru over. And look at the determination on Takanohana's face. Well, this is giving him great kudos in Japan. This is how they like to see their grand champions to come back from a bad knee injury, even the day before, taped up, and then fight a man who's 50, 60 kilos heavier. And there's the opening tsupari attacks. And eventually they close in, which should have, in that situation, given the advantage to the heavier wrestler. But Takanohana, they're driving Musashi Maru to the edge. Musashi Maru then starts to come back towards the center. Takanohana now locks in with both arms, one under, one over Musashi Maru's arms. And there, his hand goes up just to under the shoulder of Musashi Maru, and he pulls him forward and down and spins him over. So that's it. Takanohana wins his 22nd tournament. 22nd Yusho. Behind him we see Musashi Maru scoring 13-2. They don't count the playoff in the final scores. Chiyotenzan 12-3, Higonoumi 11-4, Toki 11-4. I'm going down my list here, which is in order of who won what. Musoyama, Miyabayama, Tochiazuma, Kotomitsuki, all with 9 wins and 6 losses apiece. Behind them, Wakano Sato with 8-7. Asa Shoryu, the Mongolian, with 8-7. And trailing miserably behind, Dejima with 5 wins and 10 losses. And Terao with 2 wins and 13 losses. So out comes Takanohana to take the Shihai, the Emperor's Cup from Tokitsukaze, the man who heads the Sumo Association. Huge cup, weighs about 39 kilos. Big cup for a big man. Here's the Prime Minister of Japan, Junichi Koizumi, handing over the Prime Minister's cup. And look at the size of that cup. The Prime Minister can barely lift it up. So what a massive cup for a massive wrestler. Look at the size of it. Even Takanohana is having troubles. So at the end of this basho, we saw Kaiho failing in his attempt to become Yokozuna. We saw Takanohana taking 22 wins. He needs at least 25 wins if he wants to go in the record book as the 3rd greatest number of wins. Certainly both Takanohana and Musashi Maru have proved they are the 2 pillars of the sumo world. We saw the Ozeki beneath them more or less crumble, except for Chiyotenzan. And we saw Kotomitsuki coming back on form. And we also saw the exciting new Mongolian wrestler Asa Shoryu coming through. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back for the next basho in August with our usual 5-program format. This is Sid Hoare from Tokyo, and sayonara.